Hello everyone, this is Akash here from blendersq.cf, and in this Blender tutorial I'm going to be showing you another text effect in Blender. Now this text effect is kind of an abstract text effect, and it's similar to a tutorial which I created a few weeks ago, but the best part of this tutorial is the particle color. You can see the particles change their color. It's a nice gradient effect between the particles, between the two colors. Okay, that is the main text effect in this scene. And apart from that, I haven't used any spheres in this text effect. I have used icospheres because I like the sharp cuts of the icosphere, and it looks pretty cool in this. So let's get into it and let's start creating this text effect. Alright, so this is the default scene in Blender. Start by deleting the cube by pressing X and then delete, and press Shift A and obviously add a text because it's a text effect. Then let's rotate it by pressing R, then X, then 90 and then enter. And let's edit it now. So let's change the text. Come in the edit mode by pressing the tab key and now change the text. This time I'm not going to write Blender. Let's write school from Blender School. Okay, so that's fine, you can write anything you want. Drag out this panel, go to the object data section which has an F icon. We are going to add some geometry, so change this extrude value to 0.05, or let's try 0.1. Yeah, 0.1 is fine. And then come down, change the alignment to center, and if you want to change the font, you're going to click on this open button, the regular. You can change the font, but I'm going to leave it, and that's done. That's fine for the text. Okay, now let's convert the text to a mesh by pressing Alt C, mesh from curve meta surf text. Okay, so now as you can see that the if you come in the edit mode, you can see that the vertices are not uniformly arranged. So if we add the particles now, it won't look good. So let's go to the modifiers tab, add modifier, remesh modifier, uncheck remove disconnected pieces, and increase the octave depth. This is going to increase the resolution. If you increase it, the vertices will also increase. So about 7 to 8 is fine. If you go more than that, it's not good. The particles won't look good later. Okay, because you'll have a lot of vertices. So it's a good idea to not to use complex font for the scene. So once when you have done that, when you're happy with the resolution, you're going to click on apply. Okay, now let's add in the particles. So come in the second layer by pressing 2 and press Shift A, mesh, icosphere. Now open the toolbar. If it is not already open, by pressing T, and in this at icosphere section, just change the subdivisions to be 1. Okay, we have a very low poly icosphere now. It's fine. Now let's add the particles to the text. So select the text by coming back to the first layer, then go to the particles tab, click new to add in a new particle, change the type to be hair and check advanced, emit from to be vertices, uncheck random, and as you can see we have 11,000 vertices, which you can see over here. So we are going to use 11,500 vertices. It's a lot of vertices, that's why I told you not to use a lot of resolution, but it's fine for now. Okay, that's fine. Now let's change the render to be object, and from this you can select icosphere, but before that I'm just going to change the display to be around about let's keep it 20%, should be fine, I hope so. Object to be not lamp, icosphere. Yeah, now as you can see we have the particles. It's too big, so I'm gonna change the size to be around about 0.05, I believe. Should be fine. Yeah, that's fine. Now increase the random size as well, so we get a bit more random size, which I didn't do in the old tutorial, but in this we are gonna add some randomness also. Around about 0.5 should be fine. That's fine now. So the particles are basically done. If we come back down here and change the display to be 100%, you'll see all the particles. but since I'm recording now and it's gonna take a lot of memory, I'm gonna decrease the display to be around about 10 to 20. Should be fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that is the basic scene ready. Now the main objective of this tutorial, the main thing of this tutorial, is this nice gradient effect in the particles. Normally when you add material to the particle, it actually adds to each and every particle in the particle system. So if I add in a gradient effect to this single object, it's gonna actually it's not gonna look good. It's gonna add gradient effect to all these single particles. It's not gonna give us this kind of effect. Okay, but still I found out a great way to actually achieve that kind of an effect. It's a very simple effect, and let's get into it. So for the materials, we're not going to add any material to this text. Also, one more thing, select this text, and in the materials, in the particle system panel, in the render, uncheck emitter, because we don't want to show this text in the render. Okay, so now let's add in the materials. So there's not going to be any material for the text. So come in the second layer, select the icosphere. We're going to add only the material to the icosphere. So click on new, and I'm going to change the blend render to the cycled rendering engine and use nodes. Okay, and I'm going to come in the node editor for now, so that's fine. Okay, so I may open the preview window, it's not so important. Okay, so we are going to keep it diffuse, but what we are going to add is a color ramp node. Okay, so converter color ramp, yeah, shift A, converter color ramp. Okay, and connect this color to be the diffuse color. Okay, and actually it's not gonna work, the color ramp node is not gonna work until you have some FSC over here. Okay, so for the FSC I'm gonna use something which, after searching and after experimenting a lot, I found out. We're gonna use this object info node. Okay, so just place it here and connect the location of this to the FAC. Now I'm going to explain you how it works, but first let us actually just finish this material. So for the first color, we're going to change it to be, it's a good idea to use some complementary colors. So in this one, I'm not going to use orange and blue this time. I'm going to use pink or purple, around about there. That should be fine. And for this one, we're going to use green. Okay, not too dark green, we like green. Okay, so that's fine, and I'm going to change this linear to be ease, which is also fine now. And that's basically it for the tutorial, for the material. Now we are going to add some glossiness as well, so let's just quickly add that also. So I'm just going to add in a mix shader node, and I'm going to add in a glossy shader over here. Okay, I'm just gonna mix it in. Actually this preview is not at all useful for us, I'm just gonna close it. And roughness I'll keep it to be 0.01, or we'll keep it to be 0 is fine. And the FAC of the mix shader to be 0.1. Okay, so that is that for the material. Now you can't see much. If you come in the rendered preview, you'll see it's only a pink colored icosphere. But since we added the location, we added this location to the FAC of the color ramp, what Blender is going to do is actually going to calculate the location of all the particles, and then it's going to add in the colors. So the particles which are away from the center are going to have this color, and slowly when they come to the center, they're going to get some brownish color. Because I'm using this pink and green color. So I hope you understood that, but let's see how it looks actually. So if I come in the first layer, and as you can see, since I have not set up any lighting, you can see that these areas are pink while these areas are green. Now this is a very nice effect, and after searching a lot I found out, and actually before I thought it's not possible, but it is actually possible. Okay, so that is that. One more thing I want to change is I'm just gonna bring this green over here a bit more, because green is very less. Around about there should be fine. But I'm just gonna make it a bit more lighter. It should be fine. Yeah. Now since I'm not displaying all the particles now, it's not looking good, but during the render time we are gonna have a nice little text effect. Okay, now let's add in the base or the floor. So press Shift A, Mesh, Plane, come in the front view, orthographic view, scale it by pressing S, 100, enter, and I'm just gonna place it just below the particles, just below the text, like that. Should be fine. And for the materials for the plane, we are gonna do a wooden floor material, because if we keep it blank white, it's not gonna look good. I tried a lot of materials for the plane, and I found that wood looks pretty cool with this scene. So I'm gonna use wood. So I've added a very basic a new material. Change this color of the diffuse to be image texture. Click on open. Now this is again one more wood texture from my texture pack. You can download it, it's for free, and we're gonna use wood 2 because it is a very light wooden plank and it looks cool with this scene. So I'm gonna open the image. Yeah, okay, and we haven't unwrapped the plane, so come in the edit mode, press U, unwrap. Okay, now come in the node editor and let's scale the texture by adding in a mapping node. So press Shift A, in vector mapping, then connect this vector to be the image texture vector, and then add in a texture coordinates node. Shift A, input texture coordinates, connect UV to the mapping node. Change the scale to be 50, 50, 50 and 50 for all the axes. That should be fine. It's going to give us very small with a texture. And let's add in some gloss also and some bumps. So first let's start by adding in the shine and the glossy shader. So press Shift A, shader, glossy, Shift A, shader, and make shader, place it over here. Connect the glossy to the bottom input, and actually for the glossy roughness in my final render I didn't actually add any roughness, but in this tutorial I'm just gonna give it a slight roughness by changing it to be 0.05. That's gonna give us a bit of roughness, which is fine. And the mix shader, I'll keep it the FAC to be 0.2 and about 0.2, it should be fine. And for the bump maps now, so I'm just image texture, connect this vector also for the image texture, change this color to be non-color data, click on open, and then this we're going to open the normal map. Normal map for this is also included. So this is the wood 2 NRM, which is a normal map for the wood 2 texture. I'm going to click on open image and then add in a normal map node. So Shift A, vector, normal map. I'm just going to move this a bit here. Connect the color to be the normal map color input from the normal texture, and this normal output from the normal map to be the diffuse and the glossy input. Okay, so wait, what is this? Oh, I added the color, the normal. Yeah, I should be fine now. Okay, so we should have a nice wooden material. Actually, I can't see anything because we haven't set up the lighting, so let's do that. I'm just going to change the world color to be black by coming in the worlds panel and select the lamp by right clicking on it and delete it by pressing X. Come in the right view using the view menu, then press Shift A, mesh, circle. Open up the tools panel by pressing T, and the add circle options, change it to be n-gon so that there's a face in the circle. So once you have done that, scale it by pressing S, make it big and about that much, should be fine. Press G to grab it and place it just behind the camera, rotate it by pressing R and just make it face on the text like that. Okay, I'm just going to scale it a bit. Now come in the materials panel, click on new, change the surface type to be emission, okay, and the strength to be 1.5 or 2. That should be fine now. Okay, so now that's done, and also I'm going to hide this circle from the view of the camera. So come in the object data, which has this cube icon, come down, open ray visibility, uncheck camera, so that it's not visible to the camera anymore. Now come in the rendered preview mode. You can see that we have nice reflections on the wood, and it has got nice bump maps, and also our particles look cool with the glossiness. Now since I'm not displaying all the particles, it's not looking good, and as I told you, it's gonna look good once when you render it. So let's place the camera now. So I'm gonna come in the camera view. Oh no, I'll just do it from here. So I want my camera to be here, so I'm not gonna press Ctrl Alt number pad 0 to snap the camera into place. If you don't have a number pad, you can come in the camera view and in the properties panel by pressing N, check lock camera to view option, and now you can position the camera very easily. So I'm just gonna position around about like that, bit down, like that. That's fine. And that's done. So I'm just gonna uncheck lock camera to view so that it stays in place. I'm gonna save my file. Okay, so now I've saved it. So that's basically done. Now we can continue in the rendering. So one thing because we are using a lot of glossy shaders, we are gonna have a lot of noise. So you open this light paths, the render panel, and uncheck refractive and reflective caustics, which is gonna reduce the noise. And we are gonna use 250 samples. For my final scene, I use 250 samples. I think it's cool. You can use at least 200 or 250 samples. So I'm going to use in this tutorial 200 samples. Okay, that should be fine. Let me double check if all the things are properly set up. Okay, fine. We can just do the render now. Right. So now this is rendering. I'm going to pause the video till it's finished, and we're going to come back and do some compositing. So the rendering has finished. A few things which I wanted to fix. I think the particles are too big, so I think we should have made it more smaller. And for the wood flooring, I can't see any glossiness on the wood. I think for the wood, the mix shader FAC is too less. Keep it to be 0.5, then it should be fine. And just adjust the size of the particles. So that's gonna fix a few problems, and it's pretty cool. So let's head into the compositor to composite this. For compositing, I'm gonna use photo editing nodes, which is a collection of a few nodes which allow you to add photo editing effects to your scene, to your render without leaving Blender. So it's for free and you can download it. The link will be in the description. So let's append in all the nodes. So click on File, Append, and then open the photo editing nodes .blend file, and then click on Node Tree, and here are all the nodes. So press A once to select all of them, and then click on Append from Library. Now come in the node editor, and you click on this render layers, and check use nodes. Okay, did I check it? Yeah, so that's done. So now let's add in a viewer node by pressing Ctrl Shift and place it here. Check backdrop so that we can see. Now if we come in the group section by pressing Shift A, coming over here in group, you'll see all the new nodes. Now all these nodes are made to add 1-1 effect, and in less than 2 to 4 nodes you can get a nice render. Basically there's nothing much to do in this actually. We're just gonna add a vignette. So group vignette, just place it here. I'll decrease the opacity to 0.9, and I'll decrease the size to be 4. No, I'll make it 5. Okay, slight vignette, that's fine. And we're gonna add in a temperature node to control the temperature. I'm just gonna place it before the vignette node. Okay, I think vignette should be at the end, which is fine. So I'm gonna decrease the coolness to be 0, and also decrease the warmth. Okay, so it's gonna make it look a bit more warmer. I think 0.3 should be fine. want to make it too warm. That's fine actually, and there's nothing much to do with the scene, and as you can see in 2 nodes we have completed compositing. And I'm gonna just connect this vignette to be this composite node input, because this is the final render now. You can add more effects. You can add in a frame if you want, by adding in the quick frame or the image frame or circle frame node, and you can just place it wherever you want. And as you can see, I've got a frame. Actually this should be at the end, but since I'm using a vignette, I don't want to add in a frame. I'm just going to connect this to this again. That's fine. So that is the tutorial, guys. Only one thing which I wanted to do was decrease the particle size, because this area is completely clumped with particles. It's not looking good at all. That's fine, but it's similar to the render which I got. Only thing is the particle size is a bit more smaller in this. And this is the render result. We change this to be the viewer node. We get the final result. So this is the final result, and you can again render it by fixing all these problems here. So I hope you all enjoyed watching this tutorial. So I hope you all liked this gradient effect on the particles. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and do subscribe and leave a comment.